Hello, Joe here from Infiniti of Tacoma. Today I'm going to tell you about this gorgeous 2016 Infiniti Q70L. The L stands for long wheelbase, has almost limo-like rear seat accommodations. It's also an all-wheel drive model. Very nicely equipped with features. We acquired this one off lease directly from Infiniti Financial Services. One of the benefits of being a new Infiniti retailer is that we get access to a closed off-lease network of Infinitis that we get first dibs on buying before they send them to auction, where it's a free-for-all where anyone could buy them, like CarMax, Carvana, Vroom, pretty much any car dealership. So I try to cherry pick the nicest ones I can get my hands on, and this clean Carfax off-lease example is really nice, all-wheel drive, long wheelbase, beautiful color combination. These Q70s are increasingly harder to find. We didn't sell a whole lot of new ones the last few years. 2019 was the last year of the Q70. So the last couple of years, I mean, maybe we'd sell maybe like 3 or 4 a year, maybe towards the end 1 or 2 a year. It's an amazing car. I wish it sold better. I think part of the reason why it the last few years it didn't sell is kind of Infiniti didn't update it. It's been pretty much the same basic platform and design since 2011 when it was the M37 M56. Then in 2014 they revamped all the model names and they changed it to the Q70. Really, aside from some minor updates and upgrades, there's really not a big difference between the Q70 and the M series 2011 and later. So that's kind of why they didn't sell that great the last few years. Not too many updates to keep up with the rest of the competition, but if you can overlook that, you know, maybe it's not the latest and greatest in technology versus, you know, some of the industry leaders like the E-Class Mercedes and the Audi A6, but I think the Q70 has a lot of other advantages. For one, they're just amazingly well-built vehicles. You see very few problems with these things. They're built in Japan, and you know, maybe you can see it as a negative that they really didn't change it much since 2011, but on the other hand, if they've been making the same basic car since 2011, by 2016, I can tell you they probably worked out a lot of kinks. That's probably why we don't see too many problems with these. The engine's rock solid, the transmission, these are just totally awesomely built vehicles. I'm a little bit biased. I've been in Infiniti 15 years, but I would totally own and drive one of these things. I love them, and I don't really actually think it's that dated. I think the interior design, the fit and finish of the materials is just as nice as anything else. But that's my opinion, and obviously everyone has their own, but maybe you agree with me. We have the original build sheet on this one, $56,430 original MSRP. This has a premium package that gives you leather pointed seats, a round view camera, navigation, front and rear parking sensors. You get a Bose 10 speaker sound system, climate controlled front seats, and a heated steering wheel. Then it has a performance tire and wheel package. This is really a nice upgrade. It was $1,150 option, and it gives you these really nice 20-inch alloy wheels with all-season tires. Then you get 4-piston sport brakes with 4-piston front and rear, and then 2-piston rear calipers. 4-piston front and 2-piston rear calipers. Really nice color combination in Hermosa blue on graphite leather. Going more towards the vehicle, of course, we have this beautiful leather, beautiful wood trim, heated and cooled front seats. So when you put the seats on, cooled mode, you hear this little fan going on. It's now circulating air conditioner through the perforated holes in the seats. It feels absolutely wonderful on those hot days. You have a drive mode selector to make changes to shift points of the transmission, throttle sensitivity, sport, standard, eco, and snow mode. 7-speed automatic transmission with adaptive shift control. Adaptive shift control momentarily holds the car in gear for better acceleration out of a turn, corner, or when accelerating up a hill. You have a manual shift mode. You pull the shifter back and to the left. You push up to upshift, back to downshift. You have rev match downshift for a sportier sound and feel. I love that traditional Infiniti analog clock. Navigation, 360-degree around view camera. You can change views. Power adjustable steering wheel that tilts and telescopes. This one only has 29,511 miles at the time of making this video. The Q70 is actually built on a sports car platform, so it's very fun to drive. as long and as big as it may be, it might be surprising this is actually built on the same platform. Obviously it's a longer platform as a Nissan 350 and 370Z, the G37, G35, Q50, Q60, QX70, older generation QX50. All the performance-based Infinitis over the last 20 years have been built on this advanced front midship platform. The reason why they call it that is that they place the engine as far back behind the front axle as possible, so the center of gravity is towards the middle of the vehicle, and that just helps improve the feel through the corners. If you've seen some of my other videos, I talk about how a wheel and tire package can make such a dramatic difference in the look of the vehicle. And I can tell you, as nice as the 18-inch wheels that come standard on this, these 20-inch wheels just transform the look of this Q70. It really makes this thing look awesome. And these are the same wheels that you'd get in the Sport package. Generally the Sport package is only available in the standard wheelbase Q70, not the long, but this is kind of like the Sport package light, where you get these tires and wheels. They also give you the Sport brakes. Then you have a nice chrome strip down the middle. And then where the Q70L really pays off is in the back seat. I'm 6'2". I had this front seat adjusted for my height, and look at all this legroom I have back here. The Q70 in this way, at least the Q70L is in a class of its own, because it's really the only mid-size luxury sedan you can get with a long wheelbase. Usually long wheelbase vehicles, you also have heated outbound rear seats. Usually long wheelbase luxury sedans are reserved for the full size ones, like the S-Class Mercedes, 7 Series BMW, Audi A8. So if you want something that's a little bit smaller but you still want that rear seat legroom, the Q70 is kind of like the Goldilocks of luxury sedans when it comes to rear seat legroom. Got the floor mats, first aid kit. Also the Q70L has a soft close trunk, so notice that I don't have to close the trunk all the way. It will close the rest of the way itself, so you don't have to slam it down. Likewise, the rear doors do the same thing. See that? Soft touch rear doors, so you don't have to slam those rear doors. They will close the rest of the way on their own. Something you usually find on premium luxury vehicles. Not the type of features you find on Toyota Camrys and Honda Accords or Nissan Altimas. Look at the looks and lines of this Q70. It's absolutely beautiful. You get looks and compliments wherever you go. And look at this. This has a chip guard paint protection system. It's hard to see, which is the point. See this line here? Well, basically everything forward of that line is a clear Scotch guard material that protects the whole front end from stone and rock chips. It's done great so far, and it will continue to do so as the year and miles roll along. Usually that retails at our store for over $1,000, but obviously the previous person who leased this vehicle added it, and now you can benefit from it, and you won't have to pay extra for it. And here we go. The heart of the Q70 is the award-winning VQ37 engine. These engines go 200, 300,000 miles. They're designed to have a service life of 300,000 miles, which is no surprise. They can last that long. And I can tell you, as a 15-year veteran of Infiniti, I've seen many variations of these engines coming on trade for service with that many miles. 200, 300,000 miles still running strong. I have a G35, which I absolutely love. It has a variation of this motor. In the Q70 it makes 328 horsepower. V8 is optional in one of these. You could get this with a V8, they're very rare. But I can tell you, it's not a very heavy car with 330 horsepower. This thing's a rocket ship. Now on top of that, you have intelligent all-wheel drive. Intelligent all-wheel drive will make sure it puts that 330 horsepower to the ground in the most efficient manner. And then when all-wheel drive is not needed, it will be 100% rear-wheel drive to give you the feel of a rear-wheel drive sports car. And if the all-wheel drive system was constantly working all the time, even though when it's not needed, like dry conditions like this, it will reduce your gas mileage and it'll chew through your tires faster. So that's why Infiniti has that rear-wheel drive bias. But this Q70 uses an electromagnetic differential that activates the all-wheel drive system. This all-wheel drive system was actually derived from an earlier generation Nissan Skyline GTR. Excuse me. So by using an electromagnetic differential, all they need to do is send electrical current to that differential. that activates the all-wheel drive system, and electricity can travel very fast. So basically the all-wheel drive system activates as fast as electricity can travel. As soon as those rear wheels slip, in a matter of milliseconds, almost instantly, it can send up to 50% of the vehicle's power to the front wheels. An amazing all-wheel drive system. It's been used in Infiniti products since about 2002, 2003. They still use that same all-wheel drive system in 2020 Infiniti products. It's proven to be a very reliable system. I can't think of any time where I've seen one of those all-wheel drive systems go bad, to tell you the truth. If you're looking for a rock-solid, reliable, Japanese-built luxury sedan, the Q70 is one of your best and only options. Thanks for watching this video, and we hope to see you soon.